Hi guys, it's Marina from Tech Muse, and today we will continue to study the implementation of push notifications in a React Native application, but for the development build or for the production build. So if you haven't watched the first part of this tutorial, where we implemented push notifications for the Expo Go project, then just follow the link below and watch that video first. Awesome! Let's go to my GitHub. You can find the link to my previous video where we have built the React Native application and implemented push notification for Expo Go app under this video in the description. And you can go to my GitHub to clone the repository. I'm just gonna go to my repositories and I have 30 followers. That's cool. And let's go to the RN push notifications repository, click code, copy the URL, and I can close the browser. And let's open the Visual Studio Code, our terminal. I will cd into desktop, that's where I want to clone the repository. And I'm gonna say git clone and insert the URL. Okay, done. Now let's open the folder in the Visual Studio Code. Okay, first thing I want to check is I can see that we've done everything in one component, which is not a good practice, but it's very convenient for the tutorial. And here, if I'm not mistaken, we have project ID field that needs to be completed by your own project ID. So I'm going to go to my Expo Dev account, log in, and I'm going to find the RN push notifications project. Here we go. This is my project ID. Let's copy it and insert it instead of this placeholder. Okay, saved. Now, I will not run the app yet. I'm just gonna show you the steps that we need to complete before building the APK file for Android and IPA file for iOS. So this was the first step. I can see also that in our project directory we don't have yet the eas.json file. So because we're going to be building using the Expo application services, or how it was called, EAS build. Yes. So first thing I would like to do is to actually configure the EAS build, so we have our eas.json file. Let's go to the documentation. Create your first build. An Expo user account. Okay, if you don't have a EAS CLI installed globally, just run this command first. I have it already installed, so I'm gonna move on to EAS login. Let's close everything and open the terminal. And here I'm gonna type EAS login. Let's try again. I think I'm on this account. Okay. Yes. So logged in. I'm gonna clear everything. The next step, what we need to do is EAS build configure. So let's copy it and run it. Which platforms would you like to configure for EAS build? I would select all, and that's it. Now we have our EAS.json file here. I'm just gonna close the terminal for a while. What's next? Next, we can run a build, but I think it's too early for us to run a build and to build our installation files. Let's go to internal distribution. Internal distribution is basically what I mean by built-in installation files, which is an APK for Android and IPA for iOS. As you can see here in the documentation, it says that the following steps will guide you through adding internal distribution for projects that are already set up to build with EAS build. So I think these are the steps that we have just done. Yes, login, build, configure. Okay. Now, let's go to push notifications. Push notification setup. Somewhere here in the documentation, we will find a reference to the FCM, the Firebase Cloud Messaging. And here we go. You see it's written that for Android, you need to configure Firebase Cloud Messaging, FCM, to get the credentials and set up our Expo project. So without this step, the push notifications will not work in the development build. They will only work in Expo.go. So if we launch our application through Expo.go. Setting up FCM. To create Firebase project, go to the Firebase console. Okay, so let's go to the Firebase console and create a new project. I'll call it RN push notifications. Continue. I will disable the Google Analytics. We don't need it at this stage. Preparing your project. Now we have just to wait a few seconds or minutes. Okay, cool. The Firebase project is ready. Let's click continue. What do we have here? Okay, let's go back to the Expo documentation. It's written project overview and then open project settings. Let's go to the project overview, open project settings, and here it's written there are no apps in your project. In the documentation of on Expo website, it's written that we need to select Android app. So let's click on this little guy and complete this one field that is important. It is important that it should be the same as the one in our app.json file. In the app.json, we don't have it yet. So, but later when we're gonna build it, it's gonna appear here, and it's important that they are the same. So I'm gonna give it a name. It's gonna be named, maybe it isn't, no, we don't have it yet. Okay, I will call it com.marinamuse.rn push notifications. Okay, I'm gonna copy it. Then we do register app. And we have the Google services.json file. We can download it. Download. Next, we can skip actually. Okay. So in our downloads, we have Google services.json file, which we can move to our project directory. Setting up FCM. So we have done this, and this. In app.json, we need to add this line under Android. So we go to app.json, we have Android here, and we are adding this key value pair. Okay, making sure that in Google services.json file, you have your Google Platform API key. Firebase also creates an API key. Okay, I think we are good, almost good. Upload server credentials. This is an important step. For Expo to send push notifications for our service, from our service and use your credentials, you have to upload your secret server key to project. Okay, in the Firebase console next to project overview, so let's go back to Firebase. We have this cloud messaging tab. And here you see cloud messaging API, which is legacy and it is disabled currently. But we are going to go and manage API in Google Cloud Console. and we're going to click enable. So confusing, so many steps. I don't know when they're gonna simplify it. Okay, so now if we reload this page, we will have the server key here. I'm going to copy it, and then we're going to go to our Expo Dev account, to our project, and here on the left side we have the credentials tab. Let's go there and choose this one, this identifier instead. Yeah, sorry, it's a bit confusing. Let's copy again our cloud messaging FCM token. So from here we copy it in the Expo Dev account here, and that's it. That should be enough to work. Let's look for Expo React Native build APK file, build APKs for Android emulators and devices. So we need to generate a .apk format to be able to install it on our Android phone. To do this, let's check that our es.json is in the same format. So we have preview Android build type APK, and we don't. So let's add it. Under build, we should have a preview. Under preview, we have distribution internal, and let's add also Android build type APK. Okay. Then we have preview 2, preview 3, and preview 4. I'm going to copy it and paste it here. Okay. Now you can run your build with the following command. Yes, let's copy this command. Open the terminal. Not now. And we will run this command. Okay. And now, I don't know how long it's gonna take. Usually in my experience, it's like 15-20 minutes. But first, let's answer some questions. Would you like your Android application ID to be this? Yes. Do you want to proceed? Yes. And that's it. I will be back when the build is ready. Okay, our build has failed, and I have a suspicion that it's because in our Google services.json, our package name is called like this, and it should be identical to the one that is here. So I'm going to rename it and try again. Yes, proceed. Build queued. Okay, see you a bit later. Okay, so our build was successful, as you can see here. All you have to do is just copy this link and open this link from the Android phone where you want to install your app. I will open it right now. And here we go. And when I click push notification, yay, it's working. Now let's do the same, only for iOS, yeah? For iOS, trust me, with push notifications, it's much easier. Let's clear everything. EAS, build, platform, iOS, and go. Here, what would you like your iOS bundle identifier to be? We can leave it the same. Cannot find what to link into your project, make sure that you have Expo package installed, error build command fail. Let's try to run npm install and see what happens. Because we should have done it in the beginning, right after cloning the project, but I completely forgot about it, so my bad. Now we have installed all the dependencies, and let's see git status. Nothing to commit. Okay, Let's try to EAS build for platform iOS again. Do you want to log into your Apple account? Here we go. Yes, please. This is my Apple ID. Logged in. Okay, Team Marina Kim. But again, to do this, your Apple account has to have the Apple developer account subscription, at least the personal one. Reuse this certificate. I have already the certificate. I can reuse it. You can create a new one. It's not important. I'm gonna say yes. Generate a new Apple provisioning profile. Yes. And this kind of, you see, would you like to set up push notifications for your project? Yes. Apple does it kind of automatically, and it's very cool. Currently valid on Apple servers. Yes. That is awesome. And I will be back when our build is complete, and I hope we will have no errors and we'll have our IPA file. So I'm gonna show you how to install that on iPhone. Okay, we built our IPA file. So we built for internal distribution for iOS. What we need to do now is you're gonna have to have a MacBook or iMac. I'm gonna open the application called Transporter. I have to install it. And here we're gonna click on this plus sign. Oh, sorry. First of all, let me click on this IPA file and we're gonna open it, and it will download on the computer. So now it's called 254 IPA. Now in the Transporter application, we will add this IPA file and open it. All right, because we don't have this application, let's go to App Store Connect and log in with our Apple ID that has Apple developer subscription. Yeah. So here in the App Store Connect, we have this tab called Apps. In this tab, we can create a new application. I'm gonna create new app here, and it will be called RN Push Notifications app. Platforms iOS. Language, I'll say English. Bundle ID is gonna be this one, I think. Yes, it's the same as our bundle ID here. So SKU, you can use the same, like the same as your bundle ID. So it just has to be unique. And I'm gonna say limited access and create. Okay, so we have our new application in App Store Connect. Now we can go to our Transporter app. I don't know where it is now. Transporter, and add the APA file that we have just built. And now we can click deliver. Continue without Xcode. It's just gonna take a few seconds, and this app, the Transporter, it just helps us to deliver the IP file to App Store Connect. Delivered. Okay. What's important here is that every time we build a new version, we have to go to app.json and increment this version value. Okay, so I just go 101, 102 like this. So now that our Transporter delivered the IPA file, we can see it in Test Flight tab. Not right away. We can see that it's loading. We need to give it a few minutes, and then we're gonna proceed. I'm just gonna keep refreshing the page. Okay, not yet. In the meantime, we can add users for internal testing, because in iOS there are certain iPhones that can test the application. So you have to authorize every device manually. In Android, you can just send to everybody the APK file. They can install it on their phones. But here, let's click internal testing and add like testing team. It can be called whatever. Create. And here in the testers, we don't have anybody. I'm gonna add. And you see, I have my Apple ID here already improved. If you want to add an email that is not here, you can add it in users and access, but you can only add emails that are Apple IDs. For my example, I'm just gonna select myself and add myself as a tester. So now, if we go to the test flight again, we can see that our version 1.0.0 is already here. All we have to do is manage missing compliance. I don't have encryption yet for this app. Click save, and it's going to be ready to submit. So basically, it's ready to be tested. Now on my phone, in order to install this application, my phone has to be a trusted device. So you see, EAS device create. When you run this command, it generates a unique link that you have to open from an iPhone where you want to test this application. We're already here. My iPhone is already a trusted device. So all I have to do is I have to download from App Store the test flight application and wait for the invitation to test the app. It's gonna come to my Apple ID email. Yeah, so I have received the email from test flight, and it says Marina Kim has invited you to test the React RN push notifications app. Here in the email, I click view in test flight, and I can accept this invitation to test. After that, I can click install app, and it will be installed on my phone. Now I open it, and it asks me if I allow push notifications, and I allow. And here we go, the app on the iPhone as well. Let's check the push notifications. Click and received. Yay! Finally, thank you so very much, and I'll see you next time.